Oh yeah, so I lost my train of thought, but it started with me talking about Ghost Hunters and War of the Worlds, as in these are works of pure fiction, but everything on TV, everything on the radio is pure fiction. The news is pure fiction. There are continuity errors. I am already feeling overwhelmed just thinking about these topics, but I will get into them slowly when I feel up to it. And I'm going to focus on how those two things, Ghost Hunters and War of the Worlds, are a great example of people becoming so brainwashed into thinking that whatever is on the media is completely 100% real and legit. It's just from the conditioning and programming. But, well, that's it. I guess I will try and get into the things. In some parts of the USA, there will be events that are said to happen in a particular state. Let's say that there is a big media event in Oklahoma, some kind of a media circus revolving around one alleged crazy person that has a cult of his friends, and they're playing war games and they're waving guns and yelling that they're going to take over the world, for instance. And there'd be this militia of people LARPing as Huns with guns or something like that. And it will be covered in Oklahoma, and the details in the Oklahoma media are going to say one set of things about the situation, but then media in New York reports on the event, and they're going to have details that were not present in the Oklahoma media, and then Wisconsin will cover the event, and they're going to have another side of the story. Isn't that weird? There are real-life examples of this, but I'm not going to tell you what they are. But there are some media cases that revolve around, I guess, just characters that are on the news. They're all fictional characters, and there's going to be people in real life that are going to watch it like it's a sports game or a TV show in its own right, because it basically is. It is fiction, and there's people that enjoy watching the development, but it's fiction. And when it comes to continuity errors, there might be a bunch of media stories about a child that is supposedly born with a horrible illness or disorder, but they're going to be wearing a rubber mask, and you can actually tell it's a horror mask, like not a Halloween mask, but like a horror movie special effect, top of the line thing. Of course, I have to say about television and radio that these things are not intended to be viewed over and over and over. The news is intended, especially since, before 2000, TV stuff was intended to be viewed once. It's not a movie that is going to be shown on a big screen hundreds of times, so they're not going to put a lot of production value into it. It's going to be very low quality. The green screen is going to be very choppy. The acting will be very bad because you're supposed to see it once. Today that has changed, and now they have to step up their game. So, back to a supposed child born with some crazy disorder that makes them deformed, and they're wearing a rubber mask that is extremely frightening to look at. There's going to be continuity errors because a lot of the writers that get published are not very good. They will first say that the child has normal intelligence, but then some other writer on this topic will not get that memo, and they're going to write a story about the child being mentally handicapped when that is not part of the canon. There are going to be continuity errors because dozens of disconnected writers are going to be writing pieces for a person that doesn't exist. And radios are infamous for having these scenarios like there are companies that write scripts to be played on the radio about some crazy person freaking out, and it's going to be recorded and played on various stations, but they're going to tell you it's real, or maybe they won't tell you it's real. They're just going to say, here is a crazy lady having a freak out, and it's funny. That's all they're going to say. It's no different from a sketch on some variety show. It's all fiction, and it's not talked about very often, but sometimes people will bring it up. Everything in media is just text, audio, and video, and maybe it's a little more polished and widely distributed, but it's all fiction, all of it.